designed this 20-minute full body HIIT to be efficient and challenging, no equipment and no repeated exercises. We'll target the upper body, core with an emphasis on the obliques, and lower body including glutes and inner thighs. We'll be doing most exercises for 60 seconds, so we'll focus on slow, controlled movements, power, and breath. Again, no equipment needed, just grab your mat. We're gonna start with the feet nice and wide, turned out in lateral rotation, come down in a sumo squat, and then find a nice side bend here. Reaching up and over, and then coming all the way back through to center to stand back up. Again, we come down in our sumo squat, we find our nice lateral flexion, side bend on each side, and then exhale, root down to the heels to rise. We're here for a full minute. When we come into that side bend in our sumo squat, I want you to pretend like there's a plane of glass right in front of your body and right behind your body, so we stay in this plane, so we're not leaning forward too much, and we keep those shoulder blades in retraction. So really finding that nice open chest here, drawing shoulder blades towards the spine as we come up and over. Can we get deep enough in this side bend to feel a stretch through the side of the body, through the obliques and lower back? 20 more seconds here. Awesome work from here. Come down nice and low in that sumo squat. Find a nice deep pelvic tuck here, so tucking the tailbone under. And we're gonna do some slow halfway range pulses here. So coming up halfway and all the way down. Up halfway and all the way down. Again, keeping the tuck in the tailbone. And can we keep the crown of the head to the ceiling, staying stacked through the spine, so we're really feeling that openness through the hip here. 10 more seconds here. We're starting to feel that burn through the quads. Again, really rooting down into those heels, tucking tailbone under, last couple seconds. And then we're gonna stay down nice and low here and give me tiny little pulses here, tiny little pulses, speeding up the pace. 25 more seconds here. Really burning it out. Again, same thing, we stay tall, crown of the head to the ceiling, tuck that tailbone under, last 15 seconds. We're feeling that burn. Almost there, last few seconds. Awesome work, everyone. That's what I call a warm-up. Let's come down into our side lying for our side lying series. So we can come onto the left side to start. Left elbow stays stacked underneath left shoulder. Your top leg, your right leg's gonna come behind the left leg, bent, and then we're gonna lower and lift through the bottom leg, through the left leg. So we're using those inner thighs to lower and lift the leg. And our standard lower and lift, which we're gonna do after this, it's glute medius. But when we're doing that bottom leg lift, we're really using those adductors, those inner thighs. And we're also using obliques here quite a bit to stabilize through the torso. So I want you to notice here, if that left side body wants to come towards the floor, almost like side flexion, I want you to keep lifting up through that left side body, keeping lots of space between your waist and the mat. Halfway there, we're here for a full minute. And that bottom leg is working in both directions. So when you lower that bottom leg, the left leg to the floor, don't let it just drop down onto the mat. Can you control that left leg down? Last 15 seconds. Awesome work, everyone. Now let's bend that bottom leg, that left leg, and we're gonna do our regular lower and lift. Again, this is glute medius now. So outside of the hip, inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Okay, so same thing, we're still using obliques to stabilize, lifting up through that left side body away from the mat, and we're here for 60 seconds as well. We're gonna go into our side plank, so keep that top leg in front. That right leg is gonna stay in front, foot flexed. Left leg is gonna come behind you, so the feet are staggered. Reach that right arm up to the ceiling, and then on your exhale, we're gonna lift the hips all the way up into side plank, lengthening through the spine. Inhale, lower the hips to the floor in a little side bend. So we're laterally flexing through the body to lower. Exhale to lift all the way back up to neutral. Halfway there, we're here for 30 seconds. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Again, I want you to think plane of glass here right in front of you and right behind you. So just lowering and lifting in this one plane. Last 5 seconds, and then we're gonna find pulses. Last 2. Good, and then keep those hips high. Give me tiny little pulses at the top. Really working through those obliques. I'm not gonna lie, a couple days later after filming this, and my obliques are still a bit sore, but we're gonna fight through it. That's how we work, that's how we build muscle. Inhale through the nose, exhale to rise. Let's push through it. Happy thoughts, last 10 seconds. Woo! And lower those hips, awesome work. Let's do everything on the other side. So coming onto your right elbow, we bring that left leg behind us, bent, and then we go back into that lower and lift through the bottom leg. So inner thighs working. Again, we control this movement in both directions and keep that right side body away from dumping into the mat. And we're here for 60 seconds as well. Awesome work, everyone. Let's bend through that bottom leg, extend the top leg out, and we go back into that lift and lower. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Can we keep that leg nice and straight? Again, using our obliques, using our abdominals to keep stability in the upper body. And we're here for 60 seconds too. Great work, everyone. Let's bring that top leg, that left leg out in front of you, foot flexed, right leg behind you, so the legs are staggered. And then on the exhale, we lift the hips all the way up. Inhale to lower the hips to the floor. Side bend to the floor. Exhale to lift all the way back up. So I want you to think of your spine aligning as we lift the hips up, and then side flexion to lower. Last 15 seconds here. I know we're feeling that burn already in the obliques. We're gonna do this. Drawing shoulder blades together, keep chest proud. Last 5 seconds, and then we're gonna pulse it out. Awesome work, and then let's find those tiny little pulses at the top for 30 seconds. We can do this, we're strong. We've got this. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Keep breathing through it. The breath is really gonna help you out here. Awesome work, guys. Let's do 15 more seconds here. We're more than halfway now. And we are done. Drop those hips down. Awesome work, you guys. Okay, we're gonna come to a modified plank position. So just come directly underneath the shoulders. Open up your hip joint completely, but knees stay down. So modified plank, and then we're gonna come down onto the elbows, elbows stack under shoulders, and then back up to the hands. And then again, back down onto the elbows and back up onto the hands. Okay, so we're doing that elbow to wrist plank. The goal here is to find as much stability through the hips as possible, so we're not rotating through the hips too much, right? We're not letting the pelvis twist and rotate to the side as we come down and back up. Obviously, there might be a little bit of rotation, but we're using our obliques to stabilize as much as possible. Exhale to press back up. Inhale to come down onto the elbows. We're going to do 20 more seconds here. Okay, and to keep this in the abs and out of the back, I need you to give me a strong pelvic tuck. So really tuck that tailbone under, shortening through the front of the body here. We've got 10 more seconds. Awesome work, everyone. We're gonna go into our modified tricep push-up. So wrists come underneath the shoulders. On the inhale, we bend the elbows to bring our chest down to the floor. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Exhale to root down to the heels of the hands to rise. In a tricep push-up, we keep the elbows really close to the body. So almost think of brushing those elbows up against your waist as you come down and back up. Okay, it's a little bit more work here as opposed to just keeping the elbows out to the side. And again, it puts work into the triceps and the posterior delt, back of the shoulder, and not just the chest and biceps. Exhale to press up. Inhale, can we come down a little bit lower? Exhale, press all the way up. And then we're gonna hold our tricep push-up halfway. So it's an isometric hold, just a slight bend in the elbow. Keep the elbows close to the body. Can we lower the chest a little bit closer to the floor? Inhale through the nose. Can we lower a little bit closer? Keeping those elbows close. Just hold here. Tuck the tailbone under. Strong imprint here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. We've got this. Last 8 seconds. I know this is a ton of work. Triceps, core. Last 3, 2. Woo! And we'll press back up. Woo! That was a lot of work. Let's press back into a child's pose to recover. Awesome. For our next block, we're going to come to a seated position, getting ready for our C curve and teaser block. So feet are going to come out in front of you, knees bent, feet firmly on the floor, starting up nice and tall, and then scoop the tummy, lean back in C curve spine. We're going to reach the arms up overhead, biceps around the ears, and then twist your spine to one side, bringing your hands to the floor, back to center on the inhale, and then exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, twist, bringing your hands down to the floor beside you. So we're working through the obliques here. Inhale to reach the arms. Exhale to twist. Okay, can we find a deep twist in the torso? Okay, so we're not just mobilizing through the shoulder here. Most of the movement is initiating from the waist. Halfway there, I want you to think J-curve spine here. So we're really tucking the tailbone under, shortening through the front of the body in that C curve in your mid and lower back, but then keeping the chest open and shoulder blades towards the spine. So really putting a lot of work in here through the abdominals. Last 10 seconds here. Awesome work. From here, we're going to bring the legs up, coming into our modified teaser. And then same thing, we find that oblique twist again. Exhale, we twist. Inhale, we reach the arms up overhead. Exhale to twist. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Inhale, grow taller as we reach up. Exhale to twist deep into the spine. Work. We're halfway there. Can we keep the shins parallel with the floor, keeping the legs really still as the spine twists from side to side? Last 20 seconds. We've got this. Awesome work, everyone. We're going to come down onto our backs here to continue our abdominal series. Tucking your tailbone under, find imprint, draw the ribs down and in, and then we're going to tap the floor out in front of us, keeping the knees at 90 degrees. So just opening here at the hip joint. And the goal is again to maintain that imprint So we keep that strong pelvic tuck to keep the work in the lower abdominals. On the exhale, we tap the floor, drawing the ribs down and in. We're here for a full minute. Give me 30 more seconds here. Awesome work. And then from here, we're going to go into our double leg tap. So both toes tap the floor. We keep both knees at 90 still, putting a little bit more weight on the lower abdominals to carry as we lower. Again, your main focus is keeping that strong pelvic tuck, keeping the lower back flush to the mat, and drawing the ribs down and in as we exhale to tap the toes down onto the floor. We're here for a minute as well. Can we keep the chest proud here? So keeping your shoulder blades heavy on the mat. When we have the weight of both legs, it's going to take a little bit more work from our abs to keep those shoulder blades flush onto the mat. That's our goal here. Inhale to lift, exhale to tap the floor. Awesome work, guys. Last 20 seconds. Awesome work. From here, we'll bring the hands behind our head. Again, shoulder blades towards the spine, so elbows wide. Let's come into a crunch, letting the weight of the head go into the hands, and then we'll go into our single leg stretch. On the exhale, we extend one leg out to 45 degrees, squeezing that quad, keeping both toes pointed the whole time. We're here for 60 seconds as well. Can we start to lower that straight leg down to the floor just a little bit more, maintaining imprint? Again, we exhale as we extend, drawing the ribs down to the hips. We're halfway there. Just check in with the elbows. Make sure the elbows are still really wide, shoulder blades to the spine. Awesome work. And then let's go into our oblique twist. So we're going to start it the same way, single leg bicycle, and then on the exhale we come up and over, twisting through the spine to bring the opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Okay, your focus here is making that movement come right from the center of the body, right from your waist, not just from the shoulders. Okay, we keep those shoulder blades towards the spine, we keep the elbows wide, and as you come back down, there, I want you to notice if when you come back through to center, if there's any winging in the scapula, or if your scapula, your shoulder blades are coming back flush to the mat. Last 15 seconds, let's stay strong here. This is our last exercise of the day, and then we're gonna find a nice stretch. Everyone, let's come all the way back through to center. Hug your knees into your chest, and let's just take a few minutes here to recover. First, just drawing circles with the knees, opening up at the hips, and bringing the knees away from each other, out away from your body, and back in to draw circles. And then let's switch up the direction of those circles, so bring them away from you, out away from each other, and back in. And then we're going to come up to seated and end off today with a mermaid stretch, which is Great side body stretch after all those obliques. So starting with your left leg in lateral rotation turned out, and right leg in internal rotation. Come up nice and tall, and let's find a nice side body stretch over to the left. We can find little spinal rotations here, so towards the floor, rotating down, and then rotating up towards the ceiling. Coming all the way over to the other side. This side's gonna feel a little bit tighter on the hips. Try to relax through those hip flexors. Again, we can find a bit of a twist through the spine here, so towards the floor and up towards the ceiling. And restack, and then we'll do the other side here. So left leg in internal rotation, right leg in external rotation. And we'll start over towards the externally rotated leg. Again, side flexion. And we can find those twists, those spinal twists towards the ceiling and towards the floor. Really, really nice side body stretch here, and oblique stretch. Again, we did a lot of obliques. Like I said, even a couple days later, my obliques are definitely feeling it. So let's just take a moment here to stretch out through our side body. And this is, again, also really nice just for spinal mobility. Again, we find that upward and downward rotation. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me and moving with me today on your mat. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.